So folks, we're here today to talk about something that no one likes to talk about. We don't like to talk about it, we don't like to spend money on it. It's just one of those topics we really don't like to discuss, and that is first aid. It is something that as I have gotten older, I've come to realize and appreciate the great need for it. And that's why we're joined today by John Ward of First Aid Central. We brought him in as sort of a specialist to be able to discuss stuff that we didn't even know was on the market that truthfully is life-changing and life-saving.
It really can be. Yeah.
It can be. And the reality is, with what we do in our pastimes, our hobbies, our lifestyles, we are really putting ourselves in harm's way all the time, not intentionally, and it's just inherent in the activities that we enjoy, is it not?
Yeah, it is for sure. And we all like to have the latest gear, the best stuff for the job, the right tool for the job. And I'm guilty of this, as I'm sure you have been in your life, of having a little first aid kit with a couple of regular bandages in it. And
well, truthfully, I'd say that's being generous. I don't think I even very often carried that.
Right. Most guys don't.
Most guys don't.
Right. So when I learned what was available out there that's geared so much more towards catastrophic injuries, or even just doing a better job. I was out doing a trail camera the other day and caught my hand on a small branch, and just having something that's more tailored to that need makes life so much easier. So
John, just give us a quick introduction. What is First Aid Central?
Okay, First Aid Central is a Canadian manufacturer of first aid kits. Acme United is the parent of First Aid Central, and we are the largest first aid company really in North America. So we have a variety of different brands. We produce first aid kits for everything from a dog, or let's say a hunting dog, all the way up to a full medevac chopper, stretchers, you name it. We have really the first aid category covered from A to Z. And we're really particularly proud to be hooked up with Canada in the Rough because we've been able to sit down with you guys and further our knowledge about hunting in the outdoors. And of course, you guys know of a lot of folks that have been injured in the field. And so we were able to team up together and design a kit that's specific to that class of injury. It
truly is one of those categories that everybody needs it. Doesn't matter who you are or what you do, you need some level of it no matter what.
You really should have it. Unfortunately, it gets overlooked, but this is the perfect opportunity for people to take a second look at it, because now a kit does exist that will work for them. Pulling that kit out from underneath your bathroom sink is not going to be a lot of good. It's got to have the right things in it, and together, I think we've come up with a kit that has that.
I agree. In our line of work, as we've traveled across the country, we have truly run into people. We've met people everywhere. Almost every camp you go to, you'll hear a story of someone who's had some kind of serious injury in the bush. And it doesn't always start that way. Sometimes it truly is a small cut that doesn't get cleaned properly, that turns into an infection that ends up, resulting in IV or, medevac out. Like, the list is truly endless of what can happen. There's the obvious ones: gunshot wounds, impalements, all those types of things. Knives are super dangerous. We use them all the time in our line of work. The list is almost endless of the types of things that can happen. And truthfully, I kind of got to the point where I stopped caring for it. Like, first aid kits just kind of were an annoyance to me, because I'm like, what good do they do anyway? It's just a bunch of Band-Aids and gauze. It wasn't until I started to see the first aid kits provided by First Aid Central and the assortment of stuff available to us that I really said, now that's actually a game changer. Oh, that's actually life-saving. Yeah. That actually makes a difference.
Yeah, no question. And you were just talking about a story that you heard the other day.
Just some friends in Moose Camp this year.
Right. And that was a serious injury.
Could have killed him.
Yeah. And then you're working with all these animals, and you're working around blood, and you're working around their mouth and their teeth and their back end, and there's a lot of things. If you've got a little cut and it's not protected well, there's a lot of things that can happen. So the key is to clean the wounds and get them dressed and protect them.
Absolutely. So I know that viewers nowadays have a fairly short attention span. So how about you start off with some of the things that we've called the game changers, the stuff that really makes a big difference, the catastrophic type of things. Let's start off with that, and then we'll work our way through all the different items in the kit.
Okay. So like your friend at Moose Camp runs a knife into his leg, They needed to use a tourniquet. A tourniquet is really important, and you're not going to find that in your bathroom first aid kit. So, critical tool. If you've got an injury where the bleeding is a problem, and a lot of folks have a real difficult time making it out of the bush sometimes if their bleed is too heavy, they don't have enough time to get to proper medical care. So the trick is to stop the bleed as quick as you can. And so the tourniquet is step 1, 2 or 3 inches above the wound. And then you've got a product like Wound Seal, which is essentially a little toothpaste tube with powder. You let the blood come to the surface, sprinkle it on, it forms an instant scab.
So it's actually a chemical that is causing your blood to
interacts with the blood,
and causing it to scab over.
Forms a scab just like your body would eventually form a natural scab.
Which sounds like it's not just stopping bleeding, but that sounds like it's almost also creating a bit of a protective barrier as well.
Totally right. You're absolutely right. And then there's a product like this, Cheeto Sam. This is an impregnated pad with also a hemostatic in it, so it'll stop the bleed as well. So you would put this on an injury, and then you would wrap that tightly around it, and because of the size of it, this is meant for a larger wound.
So what kind of wound are you talking about?
So you could get an arrow through the arm, or you could get a puncture from a branch through your arm falling out of a tree stand, or a gunshot, or anything like that.
Okay.
And then you can go all the way up to something like a chest seal. So this one happens to be a chest seal with a valve. So if you have an entry wound and an exit wound, the chest seal would go on. It would allow the air to escape the body cavity, which is important, but no air goes in. And that is keeping people from suffocating, essentially having the lungs collapse.
Right.
So you would get one of these on the front and another one on the exit hole. And as you know, often the exit hole bleeds more, so you would tend to that first.
If you don't have an entry and an exit, do you just use one of them?
Yeah, if the bullet was still in there, you would really only need just the one.
Okay, so still the
chest
same
seal.
Application applies.
Right. And then if you move along to something else we often don't think of and isn't included in many of the kits is a burn stop type product. So you're sitting around the campfire, you fall into the fire, you step on it. It's nice to have a burn product. So there's 2 different types of burn products that we would put in a kit like this. One would be a pad for a larger burn. Even you're boiling something and you spill that boiling water on you. And then just a burn dressing that you would put underneath your typical bandage.
Okay.
So burn products are also nice to have.
So in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products, you've just described things that would save you from some of the most catastrophic. We're talking gunshot wounds, talking arrows, you fall on your broadhead, you're gutting an animal and you slice your arm because the broadhead's still contained within the cavity of the animal, burns, tourniquets, all kinds of things. 5 products. Why aren't those included in every first aid kit?
Yeah, it's because most first aid kits are meant for home use, not for hunting. Not for, adventure hiking where things can happen. And they happen in a hurry, they're totally unexpected. What this is really is an inexpensive insurance policy on your life. You hope you never have to use it, you never have to crack the bag open, you almost view it as a complete waste of money.
Right.
But the day you need it, it's worth its weight in gold coins. You'll be so glad you have it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then if you go down to the more minor injuries, who hasn't walked through the bush and got a stick in the eye?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Who hasn't had maybe a black powder blast blow back on them and you've got powder in your eye? Whenever you have anything in your eye, it's tremendously annoying. And you're going to pick at it and pick at it, pick at it. This is just a little thing of eye wash. It's sterile saline solution, water, and you're able to rinse your eye out, and then we have, actual eye patches. I know a guy a few years ago that got a scope blowback and had a bit of a cut over the eye, and so we have all the different things for that as well, right?
I can remember in the mountains of BC, and for 2 weeks, I had something in my eye that I could not get out, and it drove me near bananas for 2 weeks straight. And that right there. Those objects also can scratch your eyelid or scratch your eyeball as well, which can cause further injury.
Yeah, how much would you have given for that little thing back then?
Like,
right?
I would have paid anything for it.
So then you've got the simple things, like I just cut my finger. So you've got bandages that are actually tailored for a knuckle. And the reason for that is it gets up around the knuckle and you've got to be able to wrap it around in multiple locations to get it to stick and to seal. And you can see this one seals all the way around the edge of the pad.
So the first time you bend your finger, it doesn't pop off.
Exactly. And then you've got actual, full rectangular pad bandages that are sealed all around the edge for something that's a little bigger, say on the back of the hand. And then you have fingertip bandages. So a lot of us get cuts around our fingertips, and then these actually fold over on themselves, and there's no way that that's going to come off. And a lot of folks don't know that these specific bandages for knuckles and fingertips exist.
I'd never seen any of them before.
Yeah. And so
all I've ever used are just the typical straight bandages, the different sizes, 3 different sizes I think they come in, or the big gauze. I have seen like the rectangular ones, the big ones like that, but you get like one in a box, so you never have it when you need it.
And they're great if they're on the middle of your finger and you can do a perfect wraparound.
Right.
But often that's not where things are, like my cut from the other day. Now, if you get a fairly good slice, you're gutting an animal and you run the knife across yourself and you're going to need stitches. These little guys are called butterfly bandages, and they're just essentially stitches. So you stick it to one side, gently pull it across the cut, stick it to the other side, and it'll keep it together.
Ah, like a temporary stitch, you're saying?
Temporary stitching, exactly.
Help keep a gaping wound closed.
Yep.
While you're waiting for help.
So you clean it good, you put a few of these across, then you put a top dressing on it, bandage it up, and wait for the real stitches to arrive. Once you've got a cut on a finger, you want to keep the dirt out of it. These little things here, they're called finger cots. You put them on the end of your finger and just roll them out after you've dressed it. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it keeps the moisture and dirt and everything else that blood from an animal you're gutting out of your wound. And that's really critical, right? There's lots of bloodborne pathogens. And so something simple like this is not in your everyday first aid kit. So we put a bunch of those in as well. Then you can go to the various tools that you have to clean your cut, whether it's iodine as sort of an antiseptic for the wound, or BZK, which is also an antiseptic. We have sting relief products as well. You're out there in the spring turkey hunting or bear hunting and the bugs are out, so you never know what you're going to come across. So there's a variety of those products. For a lot of the guys that hike back into the bush, moleskin. So you get a blister, that can ruin your day.
Absolutely.
Brand new set of boots, you got these new $300 boots and they're giving you a blister. So again,
you'd pay anything to have that in your pack when you got a blister on a backpack trip.
Totally. And again, your regular first aid kit isn't going to have that. So that's why these kits are so critical, because we've thought of everything together with you guys that we've come across in the outdoors that you really do need. If you take it up another step and we talk a little bit about the catastrophic injuries, something like this makes perfect sense. So this is a conforming gauze bandage. So you have a cut on
I've got a big gash.
A big cut there. You're going to put that sterile pad over, and then this has a bit of an elasticity to it.
I can feel it already.
You can put as much pressure on that as you like. This is almost like some guys might be familiar with Israeli bandage. That's a bandage essentially like this that has a tab on it that you can then hook this onto and create more pressure. The other way to create more pressure is to twist the bandage if the wound is here.
Yeah.
And then that gives it even...
Concentrate it.
It makes it even tighter, right? And then you can just tuck it under itself.
It's kind of like a gauze bandage with a tensor wrap all in one.
Exactly. And that just makes life so much easier, right? And this isn't going to be in your standard first aid kit.
No, I've never seen them before.
So simple things. You have a breakage. You can cut this. It's aluminum splint material. So if you need it smaller, you can cut it, or if it's for a wrist or an ankle, it conforms. You can fold it right around the broken appendage, and it's a lot nicer than using a popsicle stick or a piece of wood. Right. You can keep the.
So that's big enough for like a broken wrist or something? If you want to stabilize a broken wrist,
yes,
that's big enough to support all that.
Yes, yeah, it would be good enough to keep everything still. And then the basic, simplest thing: have you ever been out in the bush and you've gotten a splinter? And you get this little splinter in your finger, and it's just you're preoccupied with this thing, right? Like I gotta get this thing out. It catches on your socks when you're pulling them on. It's just a huge pain. So, having little splinter removers as well in the kit is tremendously helpful. So just in running over the few items that we have, hopefully you can see that these are the items that you do need when you're in the bush, and it's worth that effort to drag them out there every time. Have them in the ATV, the snowmobile, the e-bike, whatever you're riding.
I mean, I have to be honest, growing up, I was that kind of kid and even young adult that you couldn't convince me to carry one of these with me. You just couldn't. I couldn't see the practical need for justifying, one, the expense, or two, the hassle of carrying it. As I've gotten older and as I've experienced these actual things in real life and come to know so many more people who've experienced even much more traumatic, I can't even imagine not going in the bush with it. It really, you described it as life insurance, which everybody understands the need for, and most people buy life insurance, myself included. This is literally physical life insurance that you hope you never need.
Yep.
The reality is, though, the numbers are not in our favor. When you look at the number of accidents that happen every year, you keep doing this long enough, you're going to have something happen.
Yep.
And that day that it does, you'll pay anything to have the right life-saving tool with you.
And you know what? It might not be you. It might be your friend.
Absolutely.
Or your brother. Or your sister. And they will be tremendously thankful that somebody had something to help them.
Well, we travel so much by truck, by ATV, by vehicles of some sort. We hunt out of hunt camps. There's really no excuse to not have a first aid kit of some sort within a short, easy access. There's really not.
No.
And whether you hunt in a camp or you hunt solo, they come in clearly different sizes for different applications, different group sizes, so that you can find something that works for you. Like this black one here. How would you describe what this one covers?
Well, this one has pretty much everything that we showed on the table here and more.
So, couple pounds?
Yeah.
2 pounds?
Couple pounds.
2 pounds, 3 pounds maybe. This small would fit on a fanny if you needed to, or just fits in your backpack. No one can say they don't have room to carry that around with them, and yet look at what it can save you from.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everything. You've got everything in here you would need, and it's not like you're going to do surgery out there. The trick is to buy the person time. That's what it's all about. Right. So it's stop the bleed. If it's a catastrophic injury, keep the air out of the chest, stop the bleed, get them to emergency services as quickly as possible. It's just about buying time.
Right, exactly, until real medical help can arrive or you can get them to it. So as I said already, this is one of those topics that truthfully people don't like to think about until they're forced to. But everybody who's ever been forced to think about it would tell you, you should do it in advance. Don't wait. This is one of those things that truly is life-saving or can be life-saving. So, with that in mind, that's why we have partnered with John at First Aid Central to be able to create a Canada in the Rough kit. It's going to contain all of these truly life-saving items and a whole bunch more that we haven't even had time to discuss. And we've done it because there's no one else doing it. There's no other kit out there that you can just grab and take into the bush, take into your boat, into your truck, into your ATV, into your chopper, whatever method of travel you use when you're hunting, fishing, or enjoying the outdoors. This is truly a grab and go type thing to give you and your loved ones peace of mind. So folks, before the catastrophe happens to you, we strongly encourage you, get yours today.